It all comes down to this: the final event of the year and the final event to ever be held at Irwindale Speedway. 14 years of the largest drifting events in the world at the premier venue are coming to an end, and the organizers, the drivers, and the fans plan to send it off with the biggest bang possible. James Deane is hunting down his first ever title after returning to Formula Drift after a 7-year hiatus, but he needs to make it through the top 32 without letting Aasbo get in his way. Let's find out how it all goes down here at the House of Drift, only on Formula Drift. Hello Drift fans, and welcome to Irwindale Speedway, playing host to the final round, round 8 of 8 of the Formula Drift Blackmagic Pro Championship presented by Blackvue Dash Cameras. I'm Jared Deane. This place, it's better known as the House of Drift. It's seen plenty of tires being burned, and guess what? We have already crowned a 2017 champion. Coming from Ireland, James the Machine Deane locks it up, already going in to the top 16. An unbelievable sight. That means Frederick Aasbo, who is in contention for the championship, goes back-to-back, finishing second overall this season as well. But the real battle for third place. Over 5 drivers are in contention for that final top 3 spot. Before we see these guys go toe-to-toe, I throw it down to my co-host, Ryan Sage.
All right, well, thank you, Jared. I am down here on the course at Irwindale Speedway, our home for the past 14 years, and tonight we close it down for the last time. But let's talk about this great and historic course. Right behind me, the Big Bank, very challenging for drivers, lots of smoke to navigate, as most drivers are making huge plumes that drivers have to get through on this first inside clip, and then that second inner bank through that left-hand sweeper and the finish line. This is a lot of drivers' favorite course. We've made a lot of history here, and we're gonna see more of it tonight. But before we get to the action in the top 16, we're gonna go on board with Ken Gucci in our Blackvue course preview.
I'm Ken Gucci here for your Blackvue course preview. For Irwindale Speedway, I'm going to accelerate through the chicane, shifting up from first gear, second gear, third gear. As soon as I hit fourth gear, I'm going to clutch kick into outer zone number 1. Now upon entering outer zone number 1, I'm going to stay on throttle, maintaining a high degree of angle, riding that high line, filling the entire zone. I'm going to exit the zone, transition into inside clip number 1, and once more transition into outer zone 2. We're going to approach outer zone number 2 with a lot of momentum, braking with angle, filling the entire zone. And as I exit outer zone 2, I'm going to hit inside clip number 2, crossing the finish line. And that is your Blackvue course preview.
Drifting is the only motorsport in the world that is based on judging, so let's break down how that works. In head-to-head battles, the lead driver is supposed to run a specific judging line with as much angle as possible. The lead driver is setting the pace, but the chase driver is supposed to utilize the lead driver as a moving clipping point. Wherever the lead goes, the chase should go too. After 2 runs with each driver leading once, the driver that was the most consistent, most aggressive, and was able to show clear dominance over the other driver will win the matchup. For rules, criteria, and more information on Formula Drift, head to www.formulad.com.
Not only are these drivers battling each other, they're also battling this infamous track that is the House of Drift. Let's find out more as we go behind the smoke.
In order to win here at Irwindale Speedway, you gotta have a great car. You gotta have a fast car that's still easy to drive. And you gotta trust your instincts. You gotta be able to drive through the smoke blindfolded, come out of the smoke in the right place.
It's hard to explain how much this track changes with temperature. That super steep bank, that infield, the track just throws a lot of challenges at you. Now add that with all the emotion of the final round, everybody going for broke. It just gets insane, but that's why we love it so much.
Every season at Irwindale, people just go crazy and sometimes they go overboard. You know, it's what we do is a calculated risk, and I think a lot of people calculate, hey, this is the last round. The car doesn't have to be repaired for, you know, anything too important after that. It's unfortunate, but that kind of leads people to drive really, really hard and, you know, crash out their car.
We're pushing extra hard because it is the last event, and that on top of it, just the track conditions make it extremely challenging. This weekend the track seems to have more grip than it's ever had before, so we're fighting the car the whole time, and it's really on edge, so it's going to be a pretty intense event.
Here we go, Ryan and Drift fans. The stage is set. There are your top 16 drivers. And first on deck, these guys are teammates, both behind the wheel of the respective Mustangs. Chelsea DeNofa, who qualified first, going against the boss, Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Well, they've battled each other all season long and had some incredible battles, especially the one in Seattle. DeNofa and Vaughn doing it here in Irwindale.
All right, here we go. Chelsea DeNofa initiating onto the bank, initiates high, keeps it high, and look at Vaughn Gittin Jr. gaining some ground.
Closing the door here is Vaughn coming off the bank. A lot of speed here as DeNofa hits that inside clip. A little bit less angle there for Vaughn. Now into the inner bank and touching the wall is DeNofa.
Throwing some sparks out front. Vaughn keeps his composure. Chelsea hangs it out to the wall. Nice pass that final front clip and through the finish line.
Well, a good start from both competitors. You can see on board with Chelsea DeNofa. Big smoke line up on that bank, and now they're going to mix things up as they switch it up, and DeNofa chases down Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead Chelsea DeNofa giving chase. And Ryan, yeah, you brought it up. Nearly identical vehicles, but very different driving styles. Vaughn initiates high on the bank.
And DeNofa a bit back there, needs to catch up, but Vaughn a little bit lower as now he reaches high on the bank, coming down into this transition here. Oh, and DeNofa off course.
DeNofa, I think, just put out too much smoke on that first battle. Didn't have enough rubber underneath his vehicle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. keeping his composure, and it looks like he'll be advancing on Ryan.
Tire wear is a real issue here, especially after run number one. You have to just make sure you're using your tires effectively and efficiently, and you can see there DeNofa just overshoots and goes off course.
Let's make it official. Vaughn Gittin Jr. advances on to the grade 8.
On my lead run, I knew I had to put it down. Chelsea's been killing it all weekend. I went out there, accelerated as fast as I could up the line, and threw it into the bank faster than I have all weekend. It worked perfect. Chelsea, I was pulling a gap on him, and my spotter said he flew off track. I obviously haven't seen it, but I know we got the unanimous, and I'm really pumped to be moving on.
Vaughn's already in the grade 8. Who's going to join him? More Formula Drift when we return.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Blackvue Dash Cameras. And by Hankook Tire. Driving emotion.
Welcome back to a packed House of Drift, Irwindale, California. We're going to be making fireworks of our own, on track, off track. These are the stars. Who's going to shine the brightest? As we move on to our next battle, Justin Pawlak, Matt Field, two very aggressive drivers. Ryan, I'm looking forward to this battle.
And Matt Field has the most recent claim to a victory here. Last year, he took it out to finish off a great season, but now he's going up against JTP here in the top 16.
Justin Pawlak throwing down in that Roush Performance Falcon tires. Both these guys throwing up some Falcon tire rubber. Middle of the bank, but look at that. Justin Pawlak works his way and taps that taillight.
Now coming down off the bank, transitioning into inside clip number 1. Matt Field on the inside here. Better line for JTP. As you can see, now Matt Field closing the door, but with less angle.
Yeah, good job by Justin Pawlak and Matt Field in that rear view mirror. If Justin and his spotter are paying attention, I have to think that they have a little bit of an advantage.
Overall, good start for JTP. Like you said, he was on midline, then moved up high on the bank, and Matt Field struggling just a little bit with angle and proximity.
Well, here we go. Matt Field will be out front. Justin Pawlak in the chase position. Matt Field has some ground to gain. Let's see how he throws it down. Good initiation by him. Justin Pawlak now gaining ground.
Pawlak closing the door, but on a little bit lower line there. You can see makes an adjustment with the front wheels. Now as we come into this first inside clip, great job by Field out front.
All right, now into that second outer zone. Here goes Matt Field massaging the back end of the vehicle, getting really close to the wall. Justin Pawlak potentially playing a little too safe here.
Well, good lead runs by both competitors, but both of them are struggling in the chase position here. You can see Justin Pawlak through the smoke line, but not really able to keep pace with Matt Field.
Let's go to the Universal Technical into judging results one more time. So, no standout driver. Let's see him go at it again. Justin Pawlak now out front once again, and Matt Field in the chase.
Well, and if you're a spotter here for either driver, you want to give them encouragement about making sure they push hard in the chase position and see if they can make up for those mistakes. Nice job by JTP. Oh, and then he loses some angle in the car.
Both these guys tapping taillights past that first front clip. Doesn't throw them off too much outside of some body damage. Now Justin, massive angle there from Pawlak out front.
Well, great job filling that last zone right there by Justin Pawlak, but this time around, Matt Field stayed a bit closer there, so we're seeing a better battle overall.
Look at Justin Pawlak on that bank, and yeah, as you said, Ryan, the spotters getting in their drivers' ears, saying don't leave it on the track. This is it. It's over. If you lose, one and done. Here we go, Matt Field out front, and Justin Pawlak in the chase position.
One driver's going home for good. The next one is moving on into the Great 8. Who's it going to be here? Justin Pawlak right behind Matt Field. You can see Matt Field on a mid-low line here, so Pawlak having to make some adjustments.
Past that first front clip, both of them navigating it decently. Could be a little more angle from either of the drivers. Now Matt Field has Justin Pawlak chasing him down. Ryan, anybody stand out to you? Do you think we have a winner?
Well, Pawlak was pushing pretty good in the chase position, but it might be his lead run overall that gives the edge here against Field. We'll have to see if the judges agree with that as we take a look at this final battle.
And there it is. Justin Pawlak gets the victory.
So I knew I was going to have to lay it down on my chase run, and man, I just went after it on the bank. I was right on his door through the entire bank, right through the transition, and through the second outer zone. I think I maybe ran out of tire a little bit right at the end and a little bit of separation, but we got the win.
Our next battle has what looks to be similar chassis, but one's a Toyota, one's a Subaru. Yoshihara versus Jonathan Castro. And Castro, notably, I would say just a standout season collectively for him.
Yeah, both drivers actually. We've seen Yoshihara get on a podium and Jonathan Castro having one of the best battles of the year. Here we go.
Yoshihara, definitely a guy to watch this weekend here in this twin-turbo LS-powered BRZ, and he's putting the car in the right places.
Well, Dai really loves this track. You can see here it's paying off for him. He's on a nice high line. He's staying much deeper than Jonathan Castro. Castro is staying within proximity, but he's not following the line of Dai.
So Yoshihara crossing the finish line. Jonathan Castro taking a bit of a souvenir there, that front clip. You can see the proximity there with Castro, but as you said, Ryan, not hitting the line. It looks like he's impeding that front bumper. That's not where he should be. Now Castro, who qualified 20th, will be out front. Yoshihara, he qualified 4th, but that's out the window. Who's going to get the victory? Moving on to the Grade 8.
Here we go. Castro initiates an already Yoshihara pushing the pace in the chase position. Sparks flying, and you can see here coming off the bank, he is unable to run away from Jonathan Castro.
Past that first front clip into the second outer zone. Castro turns on the smoke signal. Massage and backs it into the wall as Yoshihara keeps his composure past that final front clip.
Great job by Castro on the bank, but you can see here Yoshihara in great proximity here. Castro hits the wall, but he stays in drift, so good job there.
Let's go to the Universal Technical Institute judging results. Yoshihara gets the win.
I think it was a pretty good, clean run, and I know he was pretty close to me, but I think he has to shallow up to keep the proximity. So when I switch, I try to go as close as he did, but try not to take the shallow line, and I think I did a pretty good job on the bank, and I just moved on to top 8.
Ryan, I have to think it's the power of the visor making its resurgence back into the championship. But moving on to our next battle, Chris Forsberg and Alex Heilbrunn. A driver, Alex Heilbrunn, who made a name for himself in Pro 2 by dominating there. He's going against one of the best in the biz. 3-time Formula Chip champion, Chris the Force Forsberg.
And here's Forsberg initiating right there. Alex Heilbrunn pushing the pace in the chase, and look at Forsberg going down low, now coming up high. Judges want to see a nice consistent line here, but now as we hit this first inside clip, Forsberg back online.
Yeah, Forsberg kind of down, up, down on that bank, and now working at Alex Heilbrunn, now banging doors with Forsberg.
Alex Heilbrunn, not to be overlooked here, had a great start to his season, and you can see here in the chase position, really pushing the pace against Chris, but Forsberg out front, consistent with that lead line from that first inside clip on.
The only Formula Drift driver from Lima, Peru, Inca Madness Racing, VA Power, Nitto Tires, BMW is going to be out front with Forsberg in tow.
Well, every battle from here on out, somebody is going home for the season. Who's it going to be, Forsberg or Heilbrunn? Heilbrunn nice and high on the bank, touching the wall. Forsberg now surging as we hit this first inside clip.
Nice job by Heilbrunn. You can see Forsberg firing off with those fire horns coming out of the hood. Is it enough? Oh, Heilbrunn gets a little out of shape, but then back and initiates that angle.
Both drivers, a few mistakes in this first half of the battle here. You can see Forsberg trying to close the door. Heilbrunn taps the wall up front. Forsberg on a little bit of a shallower line here on the inside, so the judges have their work cut out for them.
Going to the Universal Technical Institute judging results, Alex Heilbrunn moves on.
Yeah, well, we had to go out there and do everything we have, so we put it on his door and we made it work all the way around. It was a pretty intense battle, but we got the win.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Nexen Tire. Driving Tomorrow. By Achilles Radial. Tires you can trust. By Falcon Tires. And by Universal Technical Institute, chosen by industry, ready to work.
Welcome back to a packed Irwindale Speedway to find out who eventually is going to win here tonight. We know the champion, James the Machine Deane. His teammate is our next competitor here, Peter Wiecek from Poland, going against Latvian driver Kristaps Bluss.
Well, Peter Wiecek qualified number 2, which is higher than his teammate James Deane, so he's got momentum on his side, but Kristaps Bluss bringing out that amazing vehicle here. A lot of unknowns in this vehicle, but let's see this battle go on.
All right, Peter Wiecek throws down, but that high horsepower HGK, that car wasn't even supposed to compete, but now here he is throwing down this brand new car. Peter Wiecek out front, bringing in that second outer zone.
And keeping a nice gap is Peter Wiecek in the lead position, but you can see he's not taking a shallow line, so he's actually getting that gap by just having more grip in his vehicle overall.
A near perfect lead run there by Peter Wiecek out front. Can he do it again? But now he's going to be in the chase position behind the Latvian driver, Kristaps Bluss.
So here we go, the second half of the battle with Bluss out front, and Wiecek, after a very strong lead run, now chases him down.
All right, Kristaps Bluss initiates onto the bank. Peter Wiecek already gaining some ground. Kristaps Bluss very settled, just puking smoke out the back of that BMW. Past that first front clip, and Peter Wiecek, oh look at it, he goes offline.
Big angle there by Bluss, and Wiecek, to avoid him, goes off course, and now Bluss wrapping around the final corner, and he nearly spins out and goes off course. This looks like potentially 2 independent zeros.
So 2 independent zeros defaulting to the first run. That's what the judges will do, so let's go to the Universal Technical Institute judging results. The Polish driver, Peter Wiecek, gets the victory.
I tried to do my best on my lead run. It wasn't too bad, but then when I was chasing him, I gave a bit of a space at the initiation. It was okay, but then I leave not enough space for a transition, and I make a mistake. I have to cut the track, and I was actually very, very lucky, because then after that, the Kristaps make also a mistake.
Moving on to our next battle, and second overall, both last year and this year, Fredrik, the Norwegian hammer Aasbo, going against Alec Hohnadell.
Well, another phenomenal season for Fredrik Aasbo. A building year for Alec Hohnadell. We've seen some really awesome moments from him, and now he's got a chance to close out the season strong against Aasbo.
And Fredrik Aasbo throwing it down quickly, getting to the top rope as he's going to be dropping down into that. Oh, and we're exchanging some paint here, Ryan.
Well, it looks like Hohnadell pushed a bit too hard here. You can see coming up and, yes, tapping the left rear quarter panel of Fredrik Aasbo and then stopping the run right there. So that will be fault against Alec Hohnadell.
So Hohnadell essentially with the deficit, but now he has the clean air. But Ryan, let it be noted, it's amazing what Aasbo and his team has done with the freshman season of that Toyota Corolla IM.
Well, here we go in the battle on the bank here. Hohnadell hoping for a big mistake from Aasbo after making contact with him, but no luck so far, as Aasbo keeping a little bit of distance there, playing it conservatively, but doing the right strategy.
You can see Hohnadell tapping the back bumper there. The attitude of the vehicle getting a little bit disrupted, but powering through that finish line, Ryan.
So decent lead run here by Alec Hohnadell, but again, going back to that first run, a big mistake that shut down the run. Looks like it's going to go in favor of Fredrik Aasbo.
And there it is. It's true. Aasbo advances on to the Grade 8.
I tried to put down his stellar qual run. I could sense Alec was right there, and as I come off the bank, boom, he crashes right into me. Big deficit for Alec going into the second run. We have a close chase, and we took it moving on into the top 8.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Blackmagic. Own your shine. By Nas, with Complex 6 for high performance energy. By Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts. And by Blackvue dash cameras.
Welcome back to Irwindale Speedway for the final round of the 2017 Formula Drift Championship. And our next battle isn't a battle, it's a bye run for the 2017 champion of James Deane.
Unfortunately, Ken and Deane couldn't get their cars fixed in time for their top 16 run. And I had no one to battle, so another bye run in top 16. So our next battle is either going to be Odie or Essa. Yeah. So that'll be our first battle of the night, and things are getting crazy out here. It's a scary track, very scary track.
2013 Formula Drift champion Michael Essa going against Odie Bakshis, who's quickly, in my opinion, has become just one of the best chase drivers in the Formula Drift Championship. And he's going to need to throw down now in tow of Michael Essa.
Well, here we go. Michael Essa in the lead position. Nice snappy transition there. Odi Baktis looking for an area to attack here, and you can see he's really falling close, but on a little bit of a lower line.
Essa now going into that first front clip. Odi Baktis right there giving a little bit of distance, now reeling him in on that second outer bank.
Great job by Odi to surge forward there. You can see Essa a little bit off that outside zone. Now as we come through the finish line, we're seeing a very competitive battle setting up.
All right, the Achilles radial smoke. You can see Odi just staying outside of it, getting fully torqued in the chase position. Now Odi Baktis will be up front. He'll be doing the parting. He is the ringleader as Essa will chase him down.
Both drivers through the chicane. Odi Baktis now into initiation, creating some separation there from Michael Essa. Essa needing to play catch-up now, but he's on the wrong line. Odi's a bit lower there, trying to run away a little bit, but you can see a huge gap being established here.
So Odi Baktis now works it into that second outer zone. You can see him tapping that left foot brake, working it out. Essa quite a bit of distance back. Ryan, do we have a standout victor?
Well, Michael Essa just was not able to keep pace with Odi Baktis from the onset. Odi, a couple mistakes in the lead position, but this gap too much to overcome.
Go to the judges, and Odi Baktis gets the win.
I had to play a little safe behind him. Our car is faster than his, but when we switched, man, I could just let it rip and do my run, and I did. And you know, I think it was clear that we just had a faster car, and I try to put it in all the right places as well, and we're moving on, so very excited.
Some exciting action-packed battles in the top 16, and this is how our Grade 8 shapes up. We know who the champion is, but who's going to win here at the iconic track for the swan song of the House of Drift, our final ever event here, as we will find out on our next installment. Join us here at this iconic track. In association with Formula Drift, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.